Alright, so, goddamn, justice. I've come to realize that, like, being in even decent shape at this point is like a superpower compared to, like, the average person. At least where I am in Canada. Like, as of a few years ago, like, we were the most obese province in the entire country. Like, think about that. Like, North America, where, like, people are usually at least overweight, if not obese. But they'll compare themselves to the next fat person. So like I'm 250 pounds, but like 5'9", but that person is 5'8" and 270. So I'm not as bad. So I don't have to change. And it's like, bro, like I was 5'9", 228. I think probably in 230s at my biggest during COVID, and I was still lifting. I just stopped the cardio, and I really kind of just ate too much, a lot of bad food, and like my knees started hurting, my back hurt. I was like 24, or I was like 22, 23. Like that shouldn't happen. My hips were killing me. My back, like my lower back, would be so tight, and like my flexibility was down. Like, it was horrible. So like I can imagine living that way and just not knowing like why you feel so bad all the time. Like people will ask, okay, at my job I have to do a little bit of lifting, and some people like you can tell like just don't take care of themselves at all, like at all. And like what they're struggling with, I'm just doing with ease, and I'm not clearly look at me. I'm not a huge guy at all, but the average person doesn't strength train, and if they do, they probably eat too much, so you can't really tell. Like it's wild to me. Like okay, I was in Walmart yesterday. I think every second person was at least overweight. Like at least, and that's a guess, but I'm talking like you could see like a noticeable like big gut. Not I'm not even talking about like the people that like waddle. Like they get so stiff and inflexible from being so heavy that they're kind of like dog waddling. You're like, it must hurt to walk, let alone bend over, tie your shoes, or you're reaching up somewhere. Like these are people who are probably out of breath showering, and probably have to lift things up, like their stomach and their chest, even if they're a guy, especially. Like it's not good. Like I know what it's like to be out of shape because I was really short growing up, and I wasn't like my arms and things were skinny, but I had a little bit of a belly. But I think that was more because of I was so short. So like at my weight, I was like the same weight as some other people, but they were taller, so like they kind of were leaner. But like it sucks. You're like always afraid of being out of breath, and like people seeing, and the constant sweats. Like I'm sweating now, but it's really warm here. The constant sweats and like, especially like if you're really heavy, you get this like wheeze. You're like, it's really bad. And like it's not like you're like running like anywhere. It's just like you're walking around doing daily tasks, and you're like that wheezing. It's like almost like when you're like recovering from the flu, but you're not completely over it. Like, and people will be like in their 40s, and they'll be like, or 30s, or even late 20s. Like, oh, I'm too old to get into that, and I'm like, what? Like, obviously, I'm a big fan of wrestling, and there are wrestlers who in their late 30s early 40s will like make a dramatic transformation. And sometimes it is with help, like, you know, some performance enhancing things. But sometimes it's just like a kind of fat guy who, like, they have good cardio for their size. And then, like, they don't even necessarily get shredded. They just, like really start clearly, like, giving more effort. And then it reflects better on them. Like, there's a wrestler named Gunther. He used to be Walter on the Independents. And I think he was over 300 when he first got to WWE. Now I think he's like 240, 250, but he's like 6'4", so he's actually pretty lean. Like he's like a good combination of, like, he's big, but he's not like a, say, I don't know, he's not like a muscle freak, but he's just clearly started taking better care of himself, and it seems to have helped. And, like, he said he feels better physically. Like, it's a big change. And this is a guy who falls, like, on plywood, basically. And has been doing it for, like, the better part of probably 20 years. Like, these guys hurt all the time. So, like, if he can do that transformation, like, you can't do that when you're working, like, a normal 30, 40-hour work week or less. Or even a bit more. Like, come on. Like, yes, he has access to certain things because, like, of the money. But, like, it's not that hard to calculate your calories somewhat accurately. And then track your weight, like, 4 or 5 times a week. And you just keep track of it. And if you stayed at the same weight for a couple weeks, maybe you move more. And if that doesn't work, you would just restrict your calories a little bit more. Like, I'm not saying, like, drop them by, like, 500, but maybe, like, 200. And if you still feel good, you see if any change happens, and if it does, then that's what you keep doing. But, like, it's crazy to me, like, the amount of people you see that are just human walruses. Like, I'm on the dating websites, and it seems like I only attract heavier people for the most part. And on their profile, it'll be like, work out sometimes, and you can just tell. You're like, no, you don't. But they don't want to say no, because that can be seen as lazy, which in most cases it is. Not all cases. I mean, there are exceptions, but, like the average person's not running half a mile without almost having a heart attack. It's crazy. And then you'll be called, like, oh, you have a big ego, you're so vain. And it's just like, no, I would like to feel a bit better physically, feel better about how I look. Like, and, you know, avoid preventable health issues in the future. Like people in their 20s, like, I'm not 30, but I'm not 20. I'm in, like, closer to 30 now. Like, they can be relatively okay, depending on how heavy and out of control it gets. But you hit 30, and it might not be all at once, but suddenly, like, oh, I keep getting this knee injury, and you're just getting heavier and heavier. And if you can't be as active, you have to be very careful with your calories. And then suddenly you're bedbound, and that's the end most of the time. Like, it is utterly wild to me. And say, like yesterday, I had to move some boxes. It sucked. Some of them were a bit heavy, but, like, I wasn't like completely defeated, like, gonna go take a nap afterwards. I was just like, oh, that sucks. I was a bit sweaty, especially with the heat here. I was like, but, you know, didn't die. Nowadays, people would just rather sit in their house and watch Netflix, and then you're tempted like everybody for the most part eat while watching something, but some people will just binge like insane hours, and they're just eating and they're eating, and then they're snacking between meals, and then before it, and then what they think is like, oh, I'm eating like 3,000 calories. It's like 5,000. Like, like you watch the show My 600 Pound Life. It's nuts. Like, it's utterly insane. The amount of food these people go through, and they're like, yeah, I eat too much, but I'm not. It's not that bad, and it's like they're having like 10,000 calories a day, at least, and they're like, I probably eat about 5,000, and you're like, oh no. But that's what their normal is, which is not normal for a lot of people. But even like an average person, like skinny, maybe they don't have a lot of muscle mass, but they're not, they don't have the big stomachs, the man boobs and stuff, like, are woefully out of shape. Like, it's scary. And then if you are, it's like, I don't know how you do it, man. And like, everybody has an excuse that doesn't actively take care of themselves. A lot of the time, it's just excuses. Like, it's so easy. Like, I know, because today I didn't want to do the second half of my workout. Just didn't want to hit triceps because I'm a bit tired, a bit achy. Did it, and I'm like, well, I got that done. But it's so easy in the moment to be like, yeah, I'll just do it tomorrow, or it'd be like, I'll start, but I'm gonna start on a Monday to like start the week. And it's like, just start any day. Like, the days are gonna pass. Like, you can't rent like a healthy physique, a good physique. Like, you can rent a lot of things, but not that. But like, I've been noticing lately, just like, even my parents pointed out that like, wow, you're after getting in like really good shape, and I'm like, yeah, I never stopped working out. I'm just paying attention a bit more to my eating, and I'm moving a bit more. Because before I still worked out a lot, but if your steps were only like 2-3,000, like, you don't burn a ton lifting unless you're really, even if like you're going really hard. Like, it's all the things through the day, then that, and like cardio. Like I don't even run a lot. I just do my 30-ish minutes of cardio on the treadmill, of just like a decent pace walk, and then I'll probably go outside at some point, like lately, trying to get more sun, because like, look how white I am. But it's like, it's really nothing crazy. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I have to say right now. So I'll leave you to this.